I believe that our young people, and that is you, will eventually wake up to the fact that there is no global rescue mission coming to save you. We must save ourselves from a future of despair.
Former President Uhuru Kenyatta may soon find out that his words could reshape the East Africa political leadership, placing presidents like Samia Suluhu of Tanzania, William Ruto of Kenya, Yoweri Museveni of Uganda, and other 5 countries in the East African community, including Democratic Republic of Congo, the Federal Republic of Somalia, the Republic of Burundi, Rwanda, and South Sudan, between a rock and a hard place. Kenyatta is making headlines with a fiery call for a youth's revolution. From a funeral in Kenya to a summit in Uganda, he's urging millennials and Gen Zs to stand up and reshape Africa's future. But why now? Especially against the backdrop of political repression in Uganda and Tanzania. In 2024, at a funeral in Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta delivered a striking message. Speaking to the crowd, he didn't hold back, reportedly urging even his daughter, saying, "Don't just sit there as wealth is stolen." This wasn't just a personal plea, it was a broader call to action for Kenya's youth to confront systemic looting and mismanagement. The moment was raw, emotional, and a signal that Uhuru's focus has shifted towards empowering the next generation.
Shida ya watu siku hizi, everybody sijui mumeogopeshwa, sijui even you naona rudi uingie hii majenzi, nyinyi ndio the story of the future. Fight for your rights bwana, sio kukakaa hapo hapo mambo mali yenu ichukuliwe na nini, mumeitolea jasho. Msikubali, pambaneni, muhakikishe mumepata haki yenu. Mnasikia nyinyi? Sio kukaa hapo tu, kuna kitu inadumu. But everything is worth a fight for. If you don't fight for it, ikienda mtu asilie. Musimame mupiganie haki yenu.
This Kenya's context helps explain Uhuru's urgency. The country faces soaring debt, unemployment, and public frustration with governance. In 2024, Gen Z-led protests against punitive tax hikes showed the youth's power to challenge the status quo. Uhuru, who faced criticism for borrowing heavily during his presidency, seems to be aligning himself with this energy, perhaps to redeem his legacy or genuinely inspire change. Now let's shift to Uganda. On April 24th, 2025, Uhuru spoke at the Guild President's Leadership Summit at Makerere University, telling youth, "Nobody outside Africa is coming to save you. Get up and start moving now."
Nowhere left to escape, nowhere to run away from the wars and poverty that define much of our continent's present realities. So what? With nowhere to go but home, with no one to turn to but themselves, I believe that our young people, and that is you, will eventually wake up to the fact that there is no global rescue mission coming to save you. We must save ourselves from a future of despair.
This was bold, considering Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni has clung to power for nearly 40 years, often suppressing dissent. Museveni's refusal to step down creates a stark contrast to Uhuru's message of youth empowerment, highlighting the challenges young Africans face in authoritarian systems. In Tanzania, the situation is equally complex. President Samia Suluhu, who took over after John Magufuli's death in 2021, is preparing for elections in 2025. Reports indicate she's cracking down on opponents, with arrests and beatings of activists and opposition figures. Despite her initial promises of reform, such as reopening banned media, the shrinking democratic space raises questions about her commitment to openness. Uhuru's call for youth action resonates here too, as Tanzanian youth face barriers to political participation.
Tuna mahakama. Hao vijana kama wana makosa wapelekwe kule. Lakini tunashangaza wanashikiliwa. Hatujui waliko. Rais Samia tunamuomba kabisa awajibishe jeshi la polisi, vijana na kikosi kazi ambacho kimeshindwa kufanya kazi zao kwa ufasaha, kinafanya kazi ya kukamata vijana wa siasa.
Lakini kama makosa yapo, tuchukuliwe tupelekwe kwenye vyombo vya sheria na si kututeka kama majambazi au hata majambazi wenyewe hatekwi, wanakamata.
Niko nahangaika mwenyewe, naye ndio msaada wangu. Sijui nani anisaidia, sijui nampataje. Nimehangaika kila kona sijampata. Mama Samia, waandishi wa habari na nyekiti wa Chadema, naomba mnisaidie kumtafuta.
So why is Uhuru suddenly championing a youth revolution?
You, our young people, will have to play your part in reshaping the destinies of our countries of birth, and you will help us realize that this is the moment for each and every one of you to step onto the stage. Your time has come.
Several factors could explain this. First, as a former president, he is free from the constraints of office and can speak candidly. His funeral remarks suggest personal frustration with Kenya's economic mismanagement, possibly reflecting on his own tenure's challenges. Second, the rise of youth activism across East Africa, seen in Kenya's 2024 protests and Uganda's Bobi Wine movement, may be inspiring him to amplify their voices. Finally, Uhuru's regional influence, built through ESC engagements with leaders like Museveni and Suluhu, gives him a platform to push for change without direct political risk. The response has been mixed. On X, some Kenyans praised Uhuru's words, quoting him saying, "You are the last line of defense." Others like Kenya Unchained criticized him, arguing his advocacy feels hollow given his record of borrowing and debt. Powerful words from Uhuru, except they ring hollow, coming from the same leader who presided over record borrowing, debt dependency, and looting. You can't preach self-reliance after mortgaging the continent's future. Youth don't need speeches. We need systems that work. Quote and unquote. In Uganda and Tanzania, youth are listening, but the risks of activism under Museveni and Suluhu's regimes make action daunting. Still, Uhuru's message is sparking conversations about self-reliance and accountability across the region. Uhuru Kenyatta's call for a youth revolution comes at a pivotal time for East Africa. In Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, and the larger East African community, young people are the majority, and their energy could redefine the region's future. But can they overcome entrenched power structures? Only time will tell. Share your thoughts. What do you think about Uhuru's sentiments? Newsroom, Maisha TV, Bushebi Jr.